So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the mock trade that would send Karl Anthony Towns to the Golden State Warriors in the 2021 NBA offseason. But quickly before I get into the video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to show your support. Now let's get into the video. So if the Golden State Warriors really want to trade for Karl Anthony Towns, they will have to trade a ton of assets in return. And of course, they would have to be ready to pay a ton of more luxury taxes whenever they get Karl Anthony Towns. So Karl Anthony Towns is only 25 years old and he is as dominant as any other player in the league. So he's worth as many assets as other superstars in the league. And for the Warriors, they definitely have to have a win now mentality because they have players like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green that really want to win now and win as many championships as they can. So they have their point guard, shooting guard, and power forward set. And I feel like they need an all-star or superstar center that can space the floor. And James Wiseman is a rookie and he's still just beginning his NBA career, and the Warriors cannot wait any longer for his development. And Karl Anthony Towns is also young at 25 years old and he has plenty of years left in his career, so he would also help the Warriors long term after players like Draymond, Klay, and Steph retire. So this is probably plan A for the Warriors, the plan that would land a superstar to replace KD's talent in order to win another championship. And Karl Anthony Towns probably would want to leave the Timberwolves at some point of his career because of course they're not winning as many games as they want to, as they're just a rebuilding team once again. And they're a small market team, which I think Karl Anthony Towns would just want to request a trade out of. Because in interviews, Karl Anthony Towns seemed like he already had enough with the Timberwolves team and he doesn't want to rebuild anymore. But with that being said, now let's get into the official trade. So in this 14 blockbuster mock trade, the Golden State Warriors would get Karl Anthony Towns, the Oklahoma City Thunder 2024 second round pick, and the OKC 2025 second round pick. While the Minnesota Timberwolves will get James Wiseman, Al Horford, the Minnesota Timberwolves 2021 first round pick from the Warriors that they traded for from the D'Angelo Russell trade, the 2021 first round pick from the Spurs, Minnesota Timberwolves 2022 second round pick, Golden State Warriors 2022 first round pick and second round pick. And the San Antonio Spurs will get Andrew Wiggins and Eric Paschall from the Golden State Warriors, and the Oklahoma City Thunder will get the San Antonio Spurs 2023 first round pick. So this is the real definition of a blockbuster trade. It's not the most realistic trade, but it still has a possibility of happening somewhat similar to what this trade looks like. So the reason that there is two other teams in this trade besides the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Golden State Warriors is all about mainly Andrew Wiggins. And the Timberwolves most likely would not want to get Andrew Wiggins back on their team, and because of that I added two other teams to be able to trade for Wiggins. But now let's talk about the San Antonio Spurs side of this trade. The Spurs aren't known to make a ton of blockbuster trades, but if a player like DeMar DeRozan leaves in the offseason, they would likely have to get a real true small forward or shooting guard type of player on their team, because then they would have a massive hole on that position. And I think as long as Greg Popovich is coaching the team, I think they do not want to really rebuild, and I think they still want to win now. And I would even say it is likely that DeMar DeRozan will leave the Spurs in free agency this coming offseason. So a player like Andrew Wiggins, which has been playing great this year for the Warriors, would definitely fill in that massive hole at that shooting guard position, since he's an athletic and young wing that can also help them for the future. And they would get a power forward and a young player in Eric Paschall, who has shown strides of potentially becoming a very good power forward in the long-term future. And Eric Paschall hasn't been able to show his full potential as he's been backing up Draymond Green during his early career with the Warriors. But for the Spurs, I think he could be a starting caliber player because he would play alongside Derek White, Andrew Wiggins, DeJounte Murray, and other players like Jakob Poeltl as well. The Spurs have a big hole in the power forward position since LaMarcus Aldridge requested a buyout from the Spurs, and since Trey Lyles is basically the player that they're playing at power forward alongside Rudy Gay. And of course, Rudy is aging, and I think they want to go long-term future with like an Eric Paschall that could be there long-term for the Spurs. So they would be a fun young team to watch that could definitely compete for the playoffs long-term. So now let's talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder side in this trade. So the Thunder have made an agreement with Al Horford that he will not be playing for the team anymore long-term and short-term, that he's going to be sitting out for the rest of this season because the Thunder want to play their young players more often, which obviously means that they are definitely a rebuilding team. And of course, they would probably want to get rid of Al Horford's salary. So in order to do that, they would have to give up an extra first-round pick to another team. So giving up Al Horford's huge contract and 2 first-round picks and getting a first-round pick from the San Antonio Spurs in return would probably be a deal the Thunder would definitely be interested in making this offseason. But now let's get into the 2 main teams of this trade, and let's start with what this trade means for the Golden State Warriors. So starting with the Warriors, this is a team that still wants to win a championship in the short term with their remaining players in Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson. And this is one of the few trades that would definitely make sense for the Warriors long term and short term. And in order for them to be able to get a championship against teams like the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Lakers, which have a bunch of superstars of their own, they're going to definitely have to have another superstar that would help them with their championship aspirations, such as Karl Anthony Towns. And of course, they would have to give up a lot to be able to land Karl Anthony Towns, such as James Wiseman, Andrew Wiggins, and Eric Paschall, but it still does not mean that they should not pull off this trade. And of course, they're giving up a ton of picks in their future, but they probably realized already that building through the draft is not always the best idea for a team like the Warriors. All of those players have pretty good potential that the Warriors would be giving up, but of course, getting a player like a Karl Anthony Towns that could still be one of the faces of the NBA in the future would be amazing for their whole franchise. And it would definitely keep players like Steph Curry happy with the Warriors and would want to remain for their team for his whole career. So you wouldn't even want to think about Steph Curry potentially leaving the Warriors if this trade was to happen. But if they don't make this trade, the Warriors could definitely blow it up and just trade Curry, Draymond, and Klay Thompson, because it's not really going well for the team right now. So if I'm the Warriors, I say pull this trade and pull the trigger. But now let's hop into the Minnesota Timberwolves side of this trade. So the only way that the Minnesota Timberwolves would trade Karl Anthony Towns would be if they get a ton of assets in return for him. And this trade definitely provides it for them, since they end up with 3 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a young player that could be an all-star in the future in James Wiseman, and a veteran player like Al Horford that can help the team win now as well. And a team that will consist of D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, Malik Beasley, Al Horford, and James Wiseman would be a great and fun team to watch in the long-term future and the short-term future. And in addition, 3 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks that will be great for the team moving on long term, and they would have their own picks that they can rebuild around as well. And when the time comes, they can also make a blockbuster trade for a young disgruntled star when the time comes as well. So let me know what you guys think of this blockbuster trade that could potentially take place in the 2021 NBA offseason. So let me know in the comments down below what you think about this trade and which team would win this trade and which team would lose it if you think that there would be one. But in the end, I think that this could be a win-win type of scenario for all teams. So let's see what will happen if the Warriors make a trade for Karl Anthony Towns, and if more teams are involved than just the Warriors and the Timberwolves, for the Warriors to be able to get off of Andrew Wiggins' contract. So let me know what you guys think of this video. And once again, make sure to subscribe to the channel for you to be able to see more awesome content like this. Like this video. It was KNYT here, and I'm out. Peace.